Hello, everybody. Welcome to the returning Piledriver podcast. I am one of your hosts, Daniel, joined by my other two hosts.
It's Berman.
And Chris.
So today we got quite a bit to cover. We're going to kick off with some WE stories, then dive into an AEW story and predict the AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door 2023. Then we're going to end off the video by predicting WWE Money in the Bank 2023. So without further ado, let's begin. So today is the 25th anniversary of Edge's career. He debuted in 1998, and we've had 25 years of Edge, and 25 years is a long time. Most wrestlers don't even make it past 5 to 10 years, so that's really impressive. Edge definitely has earned his keep in the wrestling world without a shadow of a doubt, and for some people, they consider him one of the greatest, and I can't even blame that. So, I'm just gonna have all of us share a little moment that we cherish involving Edge. It doesn't have to be our favorite moment, but a specific moment. And I'll say my specific moment. The first time I ever watched wrestling was in 2008. I was about 5 years old, going up to 6 at the time. And basically, Rey Mysterio was going to do the senton move on Edge, but then he accidentally knocked Vicky Guerrero down in a wheelchair. And then, Rey just stood tall by the end. But basically, I was like, what is this stuff? And then, it made me explore past matches and all of that. Like Edge with, the TLC stuff he did with Hardys and Dudleys and Christian. Without all that stuff, I don't think I would have ever gotten into wrestling as much as I did. So Edge has definitely played a huge part into how I got into wrestling in the first place.
And for me, would be my first time actually watching Edge in a wrestling, and kind of started my thing watching more of him was Edge versus Undertaker, which Undertaker is one of my favorites. It was Edge versus Undertaker. I can't remember. We have too many matches, but there's when in this match, I think it was actually for the streak. It was, I think, one of WrestleManias, and Edge picked up a camera and pretty much smashed Undertaker's head, and pretty much it was a very good. I really loved that, and the whole entire match was pretty fun too. And that kind of made me think, oh, I need to watch more Edge to see if he does this more often, and that was correct. So for me, that was my moment.
And for me, it would probably be his TLC match from WrestleMania 17 because I know we recently reviewed it, but I remember watching this as a child, like way back in the day. And if you haven't seen it, it's phenomenal. And you can also see us review it too, and because we made a review of WrestleMania 17 like 3 months ago. So there you go, dude. Go watch our stuff.
Fair play, man. Congrats on 25 years. Now, let's move on to Sheamus. Sheamus has been in an interview earlier this week, and the news story broke this morning that he believes WWE has failed to capitalize off the Brawling Brutes. So I'll say the quote right here. And I quote, I just don't think they've really capitalized on the group. I don't think they've really let us show what we can do. This stop-start stuff is really hard when you're trying to highlight young talent. It's frustrating, So I don't know. Maybe we'll get an opportunity to show what we can really do as a group, because a lot of these other groups who are out there now definitely getting opportunities that we haven't had to get. And I kind of changed that sentence around, but you guys get what I mean. He feels like he's been missing out. The Brawling Brutes have been missing out on storylines and character stuff and all that jazz. So to continue the quote, that's kind of been a shame, mate, to be honest, considering the talent that's in there. So by that, he's also complimenting his partners in the group, Butch, aka Pete Dunne, and Rich Holland. So, yeah, I mean, this is my whole thing. I kind of agree with him because he's kind of in the peak of his career. And, I feel like that definitely needs to be capitalized in some way. He's hella over with the audience, but at the same time, it's like there's a lot going on with Gunther and his IC title reign, with Roman and his world title reign. It just feels like it'd be kind of hard to fit him into the bigger picture at this very moment, and that's kind of just the difficult thing. So I feel like it's a bit of a tough situation here. I can understand both sides of the coin.
Yeah, I was the same thing. I do kind of understand what Sheamus is going through, and I do love the Brawling Brutes myself, and I feel like they should do a lot more. But they have been in a lot of great matches that kind of show off world. And I say off the bat, Pete doesn't need to ever be shown off because of how great he was in NXT. I think everyone knows who's Pete Dunne. But now that people know who's Rich Holland, I think he needs to be shown more, in personal opinions. But I think I'm understanding that with what Sheamus is trying to say. But hey, that's the world right now. People don't like people don't misuse a lot of people right now. You see me, I critique a lot that they don't use a lot of my favorite women that they should be using more, like Selena Vega was be one of my examples right there. So that's all I have to say about this subject.
And I understand why Sheamus feels kind of let down, but to be fair, like I know he's at his peak right now, Daniel, but at this current moment, the main focus of WWE is definitely the Bloodline story coming to an end. So maybe he'll get his shot, like maybe towards next year, because right now, not to discredit him or what he's done with his group and all that, but is he really that all important right now? Because we have way more important like lines to like finish and whatnot. So that's
It's
my
kind
little
of tough
take
for
on
me
it.
to answer
It's
because
tough.
the dude's over,
No, I know,
and he can put on a banger every time he's out there.
but there's just too much going on with the Bloodline, bro. It's just been the main focus of this company for like almost 4 years now. So I don't blame WWE kind of throwing him underneath the bus, but it's not right. They could do something at least on SmackDown or I don't know. It's tough for me.
I get it. Now, let's hop into the next story. Kenta refused a Forbidden Door match with CM Punk, and nobody knows the reason why. Maybe Kenta was going to lose, and maybe he didn't like losing to the guy that didn't originate the GTS like he did, and maybe the payday wasn't big enough for him to lose to Punk, or maybe he didn't want to lose to Punk in a first round Owen Hart Cup match, because that's what was clearly going to happen. So, yeah, now Punk is fighting Kojima, which we'll talk about later on in this video. And yeah, what are your guys' opinions on this situation? I'm a bit bummed out we're not getting Punk versus Kenta. I think that would have been a great match, especially GTS versus GTS. It would have been cool. But hey, I'll give Punk versus Kojima a chance, and I guess unfortunately we just couldn't get the Punk Kenta match.
Yeah, I I am sad about this Kenta versus CM Punk match, but I understand kind of what Kenta made. I feel like to me he just didn't want to lose in a first round Owen Hart match. I think that he just doesn't because he's a champion right now too, and so I feel like he doesn't want to lose in a match like this. So I can understand what Kenta is, but it kind of sucks to me that he doesn't want to go against CM Punk. But to me, I think CM Punk versus Kojima will be a banger too. I've seen Kojima a good amount of times, and I've been seeing it a lot against John Moxley, and that was a good match too. So to me, this should be a good match, either or.
Hmm. Eh, Do you think mostly it was like a money issue? Because I don't know if he's like memeing or not, but like on Twitter, that's like all he really talks about. Well, if he's just like, I don't get paid enough to fight CM Punk, I'm not losing to CM Punk. Like it sucks, but it would have been a fun match. He could have just took the loss.
What?
I mean, what's he the title of currently in New Japan?
And
It's a mid-card title.
New Japan Strong title.
Okay, so is it like a mid card title or is it like something important?
It's a main title in the New Japan NXT kind of division. I'll call it is the main title.
Oh, okay. So
It's the equivalent to being ROH champ.
okay. Hmm. Well, that sucks. He could have just, or he could have just done a draw, but I guess that wouldn't really make sense. Or I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I
Just take
guess politics just got in the way.
Just take the money, Kenta. Just take the money.
I mean, I'm going to do my best not to be harsh here. Kenta is a great wrestler. We know this. So I'm not disrespecting him. But I feel like at both their stages of their career, Punk is one of the main draws in all of wrestling still. If anything, Kenta needed that match more than Punk did. Like, there are people who aren't wrestling fans who know CM Punk. Who the fuck knows Hideo Itami or Kenta who hasn't watched wrestling before? That's not even me being harsh. He's a great wrestler, but honestly, man, if the money was there and you were just going to take the L on pay per view, sure, own hard cut, whatever, but it's on pay per view. The match speaks for itself. GTS versus GTS. Forbidden Door isn't a show that is meant to have massive build up behind it, anyways. It's a crossover show, like a fantasy crossover show. That's what Forbidden Door is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a show with massive build up. If you look at the whole card, there's build up for maybe one or two matches on the entire card of Forbidden Door.
Yeah, it sucks to leave it, but hey, I think Kenja's just a butthurt. That's all.
It feels bad, man.
Yeah. Well, that's all the news stories for today. Now we're going to dive into the big guns. The two pay-per-views that are happening this week. AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door 2023. We're going to start with that. So as of right now, there are 10 matches on the main show. 11 if you count the 0 hour match. So yeah, the show's probably going to go to 9, maybe even 10, probably 4 or 5 hours. It's going to be a long show. But you know what? We shall see what happens. Now, there have been reports saying Omega Ospreay 2 is going to be the last match in the card, but there has also been reports that Brian Okada is going to be the last match in the card. So I have no idea which match is going to be the last match in the card. So we're just going to predict in order that I could see New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW having their card be. So, yeah, we're just going to take a ramble here. Now, I'm pretty excited for this pay-per-view, especially based off the two main advertised matches that we got. The undercard is going to be an interesting conversation. But if we're talking about the two big matches on the card, that alone is worth the pay-per-view. So I'm very excited for this show, and I think this has the chance to be one of the best pay-per-views of 2023, despite some of the randomness around the booked matches here.
Yeah, and two things. One, they did say on AEW yesterday, on Wednesday, that the main event will actually be Okada versus Bryan Danielson, and then before that, it will be Kenny versus Will Ospreay. I feel like to me that confirmed that.
I don't know if that's a good decision. I don't know if that's a good decision.
They just said it was a main event. They just said that as a main event. So
I see. They were also calling the AEW title match last month the main event, so I'm definitely keep my eye open on that.
it could be double. I don't know. And number two, I am kind of butthurt that Jay White doesn't get a spot on this Forbidden Door card. He should be on this card, and not because I'm a big fan of him, but I think he should be really on this match. Could be a Bullet Club Gold versus Bullet Club. That would be freaking awesome. I should have done that. They should have done that, but they missed a great opportunity with that. But to me, even if it looks really good. So far, every match looks very interesting, except one.
Yeah.
All right. And what about you, Chris?
The only thing, well, I guess we'll talk about it. There's only like maybe one match. No, actually two. It's probably the same things we're thinking too that are gonna kind of be mid, but it's fine. I need bathroom breaks because this shit's about to be like 4 hours long on Sunday. So I need to get my popcorn. I need to get my soda.
4 is generous. I'm thinking 5 or 6.
Dude, don't say that.
Dude, look how many matches there are on this card.
Dude, 5 hours? I have to work the next day. What
Because
do you mean?
think about it. It's going to be 4 o'clock pre-show. The show begins at 5. It'll probably go to 9, so that's 5 hours. And if it goes to 10, it'll be 6 hours. And I think it's going to go to 10.
Don't say that. My sleep.
Well, fuck your sleep, bro.
No.
Yeah.
Now, man, let's dive into this shit. First, 0 hour. Women's Own Heart Cup Round 1 match. The ROH Women's Champion Athena going against Billy Starks. Now, don't take this the wrong way. I think Athena should clean up the tournament here. And usually these 0-hour matches never count in our review, so I'm not going to give my expectation or anything, but I will say it could be a good match. Athena will win, and I think she should win. And yeah, especially with the fact that she's the ROH Women's Champion, I think her losing in the first round would be not good. So yeah, that's all I really have to say on it. Athena advances to the semifinals, and if anything, I think she cleans up the whole tournament.
Yeah, for me, I probably predict it will be Athena winning, or just winning this match. But for this whole entire tournament, I feel like I kind of want Ruby Soho to take the whole victory.
No.
Chris is gonna hate that, but I do still like Ruby Soho in general. So, but I still think Athena will definitely win this match.
And same here, dude. And plus, not to discredit Billy Stark, she's actually pretty good. Before I stopped subscribing to Ring of Honor, she was a really cool upcoming wrestler. So this match is gonna be a banger. It's too bad they couldn't replace the Willow match, but whatever. I'm just gonna save it.
I see.
See.
So we all got Athena winning.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on to the main show. The opener, in my opinion, Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki versus Sting, Darby Allin, and the mystery opponent that's going to be announced on Saturday night's Collision. And if we have to narrow it down, it's going to be one of 4 people. Shingo Takagi, which is the most likely. Naito, that's wishful thinking. Hiromu Takahashi, who was going to be on the card last year, but issues happened. And the last person, the one I know you all want, Goldberg. So, yeah, Darby, Sting, and Goldberg. That would be quite the dream team, folks. But no, real talk. I think it's going to be Shingo. And yeah, because they were the dudes with attitude last year, they're probably going to do that shit again. And yeah, I think this is the match that's going to officially confirm Sammy Guevara's face turn. And as for Jericho, I did say I wanted Jericho to face Daniel Garcia during All In / All Out, but with the way things are going, I think they're going to do Jericho versus Sammy Guevara at All In / All Out. And I think they're going to get that story started here through this match. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say. My prediction is Team Sting. And I expect somewhere between a 7 to an 8. I think this has a lot of potential to be a lot of fun. And yeah, I say that despite the fact that Jericho and Sting are arguably past their peak.
Yeah, this match should be fun. I'm more personally hoping for Hiromu, even though I do love him a lot, but I do want him to lose that freaking title. But I think to me, I would love to see Hiromu come and be by Sting and Darby Allin. It kind of fits because of how Hiromu kind of wears a really weird assortment of crap, like the weird eye cape, whatever, like the weird attire that he always wears. It kind of fits the Sting Darby Allin kind of thing to me. So that'll be fun, and I can't wait to see Sammy turn face. I've been loving him for a good while since the Double or Nothing. So far, I've been really liking Sammy, so can't wait to see that face turn. For me, I'd probably take the same expectation, 7 to an 8.
And it's I'm just hoping Chris Jericho does end up landing because lately it's just more of hit or miss, especially with these pay-per-views. But since he's probably not going to be the main focus, and they're going to have the other guys to carry him, I'm hoping whoever this mysterious opponent is, they can deliver, and we get some of that Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara beef in the ring because it's going to happen. It's going to probably end up costing them the match. So I expect this to be probably like a 7.
I expect the heavy lifter of this match to be Darby Allin, and I expect Sting and Jericho to get like the last 5 minutes or so of the match, just to get that big climax. And only 5 minutes to be in there, 3 to 5 minutes. They'll be able to pull off all their big moves and nothing too crazy. And that's all really people need to see at this point. They're both over 50. We don't need a fucking 5-star clinic from Jericho and Sting at their ages.
Yes,
We
we
just
do.
need to do the basic fun moves to get the crowd to pop, and that's all it takes for fun. Now, move on to the second match, which was confirmed through AEW Rampage tomorrow. Adam Cole versus Tom Lawyer. I will say this is kind of an underwhelming opponent for Adam Cole, in my personal opinion. No disrespect to Tom, but that's just how I feel. The match might be decent though. My expectation is a 6 to a 7. I see Adam Cole getting the easy W, and obviously he's going to probably get that AEW title match at Wembley.
Yeah, for me, I'm excited for this one. Actually, I love Tom Lawler. Tom Lawler. He used to be the open weight champion. And to me, I've been having a lot of fun with him. So I really want him to see. I really want to see him and not win because I feel like Adam Cole is definitely going to win. But I really want to see him because he's always funny in the ring. Every time he walks out, it makes me laugh, and it was always funny with skinny jeans. It's always funny. I love watching Tom Lawler a lot. So this to me, I'm going to go for a 7 or to an 8. I think this would be a fun match.
Yeah, I don't know who this Tom guy is. I'll be honest with you both. I've never heard of him, but I'm not gonna diss Adam Cole. He's gonna have bangers after bangers, so I'll just give it. I don't know. I guess a 7. I have to see for myself because it's gonna be my first time experiencing it.
Fair enough. Now, the AEW International Championship match, Fatal 4-Way. Orange Cassidy, who is the AEW International Champion, only guy that has his belt on the line, versus the New Japan Pro Wrestling World TV Champion, Zack Sabre Jr., versus the Ring of Honor Pure Champion, Shibata, versus the PWG Champion, Daniel Garcia. So all 4 of these guys have a championship. Only 3 of them have it through the AEW New Japan universe. Daniel's PWG title technically isn't in that universe, but still, all 4 of them are champions. And the other 3 have the chance to become double champion. And yeah, I think this has a chance to be a great Fatal 4-Way. I think Orange Cassidy is going to retain to continue his reign of dominance. I expect an 8 to a 9. And I see reign of dominance. I don't get why they're doing why they're booking Orange Cassidy like he's Brock Lesnar, but I will say it is kind of fun, but it's also kind of dumb when you think about it more and more. Like a taped up Orange Cassidy shouldn't really be beating everyone on the roster, but it is what it is.
Yeah, for me, this match will definitely be fun as hell. I really like every single one of them will be fun as hell. I want Zack Sabre Jr. to win completely. I really want to see Zack Sabre win 2 titles. I think he deserves that crap. It'd be so much fun to see Zack Sabre Jr. more on AEW, and so it's so much fun to see. So I would expect this definitely to be an 8 to a 9. This should be very fun. 100% Zack Sabre.
This is definitely gonna be the technical masterpiece if you're into that. But of course, not everyone likes that kind of wrestling. I don't think Zack Sabre Jr. is gonna win, but I kind of want him to win. I mean, you can have the bangers with Orange Cassidy, Zack, and then Shibata. Like, it's just the storytelling is there, dude. Plus, you have Daniel Garcia doing like stupid crap, and then Orange Cassidy doing more dumb things. So, I'll give it an 8.5. It's gonna be good.
Now, sorry about that, y'all.
Cool.
Owen Hart Cup round 1. CM Punk versus Kojima. CM Punk wins. 7 out of 10 expectation.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same thing. It'd be fun. It would be a fun match to see it. See him out stadium again. Probably CM Punk is going to run through the whole entire Owen Hart Owen Hart Cup. So CM Punk wins this. I'd probably say 7.5.
Yeah, same boat. Again, it's another wrestler I'm not too familiar with, but hey, I'm down to see more of these new kind of guys. So, I guess I'll stick with 7.
The funny thing is, you say new, but he's been in the wrestling business for 32
I
years.
I know Daniel, but I don't watch New Japan like that.
I see.
Funny enough, he actually fought against John Moxley when he was the United States champion.
Yeah, All Out in 2021.
But that
Yeah.
pay-per-view sucked.
That's a horrible take. But I can't believe you just spewed that garbage on this podcast. All right. I'm moving forward to the next match. It's going to be the AEW Women's Championship match. Toni Storm, the champion, defending against the challenger, Willow Nightingale, who is also the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Champion. We really couldn't get someone from Stardom for this match, like Azumi or Starlight Kid or Himika or Tam Nakano or Kairi Zane or I could go on, man. What the fuck is this match? Why? 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 This is going to be a mediocre ass match. And I'm kind of offended by the fact that they're playing a match like this on pay per view. Like, hey, pay $50 for Tony Storm versus Willow Nightingale. But you know what? I did say that the main two matches are worth it alone. This is obviously the match in the card that I am not a fan of. This is my least favorite match in the whole card. This is the only match on the card I just look at and say, why does this exist? I mean, you could have had so many better opponents, so many better matches that wouldn't just be exclusive to AEW. Sure, you could say Will Nightingale's New Japan Pro Wrestling strong, but let's be real. It would have been more of a genuine AEW versus New Japan match if they got someone from motherfucking Stardom, and that's the facts. So, yeah, expectation 4 to 5 out of 10. So I think Tony Storm is going to retain, but I am not impressed by this match being booked on Forbidden Door 2 whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything else except I probably win. Well, that's like Tony's gonna win. It might be okay. One of the best matches of the freaking night. So definitely, I would give this I'd say 4 to a 5 expectation.
It kind of makes me sad. This could have literally been Tony Storm versus Mercedes.
No, we don't need Mercedes losing to Tony. And actually, Mercedes was supposed to fight Saraya. That was the original plan.
Well,
So she was never going to fight Tony Storm.
maybe I'll be nice. I'll give it a
Someone from
5.
Stardom.
I'll give it a 5. It'll probably be okay.
All right,
That's it.
fair. They're more nice than we are on that match, we'll say that. So, 10-man tag team match. The Hunk Bucks, Eddie Kingston, and Tomohiro Ishii versus Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Konosuke Takeshita, and Shuta Umino. I think this could be either a mess or it could be really great. And I think it's going to be more or less really great. And I expect an 8 to a 9. Here's the thing. BCC have kind of won a lot of the major matches. Mox beat Omega in the steel cage. And then Anarchy in the arena. They also won. So I think the Elite need to get some sort of win for this feud to keep going. Unless if y'all just want to make the Elite BCC's bitches. I mean, that's up to AEW, I guess. But what I will say is that if you want the story to keep its intensity, I think the Elite should get the dub here. So, yeah, my prediction is the Hung Bucks, Eddie Kingston, and Tomohiro Ishii. And yeah, let me see who out of the 5 people will eat that pin. I guess Yuta or Shuda. Sorry to those two, but that's the most logical person to eat the pin in this match. And yeah, that's all I could really say on it. I expect a great match.
I think this is gonna be a fun match too. I'll probably do the BCC because I like them a lot, and I think this is definitely going to be. When I probably say the Eat, then I will feel like Tomohiro Ishii. Don't get me wrong, I love him. He's one of my favorites in New Japan. I say that a lot, but because he doesn't have a big rivalry with anyone in any promotions right now. Really, he's just kind of like a wild card. So black sheep of the group, I would call it too. So to me, it makes sense to him could eat the pin too. But I would say I predict the PCC to win, and I'll do that. I would expectations 8 to 9.
And I'm with Berman on this one too because I don't think the BCC should beat the Elite because they're just such on a hot streak right now. And I know I like the Elite and all, but we can't have them lose because either Daniel. Oh, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait. Point being, BCC needs to win by something shenanigans. But I'm just gonna save it. I'll save it when we get there. It's gonna be a 9. It's gonna be a 9.
Next match, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship match. The champion Sonata defending against Jack Perry. Now, the Jack Perry hate has been getting to a pretty high level, and it kind of started on the road to Double or Nothing. But do you know what really started the hate wave?
Yo.
Double or Nothing. And if you're wondering why was that the exact day? Because think about it like this. Sammy Guevara, in his entrance, announced that he was having a baby. In Darby's entrance, he had a special Las Vegas montage with an Elvis Presley and all that stuff. A special entrance. MJF also had a special entrance with him arriving on his throne with the devil mask and all of that. So all three of them did something special for their entrances. Jack Perry came out and did the exact same entrance he does on every other show. And that right there was the big moment that exposed the fact that he kind of needs more to be original and that there are clear pieces missing to Jack Perry. This is a create-a wrestler from 2K, low key. And I'm not even trying to be offensive about it. Like, I think Jack Perry is very talented, and I think with the right directions, I think he could become an even better wrestler than he is today. But he is obviously missing important pieces to his character. And maybe the heel turn is going to help that out. Because obviously, he's going to lose to Sonata. And he's obviously going to turn heel, take that frustration out on Hook. And that excites me because Hook will finally get out of the shell of fighting jobbers. And yeah, I actually think with Jack having this chip on his shoulder, losing a world title match in the last pay-per-view, meaning to win the world title on this pay-per-view, at least in his head, I think there's at least a bit more going for it than some people realize. Sure, on paper, I can understand why people are disappointed that of all people, Sonata's fighting Jack Perry instead of many others on the roster. But when it comes to the pay-per-view matches I've seen of Jack Perry, I've liked literally almost all of them. Revolution 2022 had one of the best tag team matches I've ever seen with Young Bucks and Red Dragon. He had another phenomenal triple threat the next pay-per-view with Swerve, Keith, and Team Taz. And then Full Gear, he had the steel cage with Luchasaurus. Revolution this year, he had the Buried Alive with Christian Cage. Then at Double or Nothing, the Four Pillars Fatal 4-Way. So say what you want about the guy. On pay-per-view, he knows how to bring the quality. That's undeniable about Jack Perry. And I think that's something people forget a lot about Jack Perry because he doesn't have that much of a character that makes him stand out. They kind of forget how good of an in-ring talent he actually is capable of being. So, yeah, I've said a lot. I'm just going to end it with saying this. I've revealed my prediction. It's Sonata. I expect a great match because I think there's a lot riding on it. You know, a lot of doubters. A bit of a story there for Jack. I'm going to give it an 8 to a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, for me, I would definitely. It's something I said off about, guys, and I'm not gonna say brutally, but still, I do like Jack Perry. I think he has been doing a lot of great matches, but I don't feel like he should be getting this match against Sonata. There's way too many more people that could definitely take Sonata to a better match, to a 9 to 10 at least. But there's gonna be a lot. You can just pick between like Roderick Strong, could be a freaking great one to put on there, or someone far bigger. There's probably a bunch of choices. They just don't use them, which is weird. But hey, if they deliver a great match, fine by me. It's perfectly fine. So for me, I'm picking Sonata, the boy, and I would give this probably expectations 8 to a 9.
And yeah, same here. I'll just keep it short. 9. These two said a lot, so there's not much I can add to this.
You got Sonata retained?
Yeah.
Okay. Final 3 matches. Bryan Danielson versus Okada. This has match of the year potential written all over it. And it would be my most excited match of the night on any other pay-per-view. But because there's one match on this card that I have lots of faith in, it's my second most hyped match of the pay-per-view. But yeah, it's a match a lot of people have wanted for years, and I'm very thankful that this is finally happening. I'm cool with whoever wins here personally. Sure, part of me is rooting for Bryan, but I'm not going to complain one bit if Okada wins. And yeah, like I said, I already revealed it. I'm rooting for Bryan, but I think Okada's taking it. And my expectation is going to be a 9 to a 9.5, maybe even a 10. but I'm not going to put it that high because I rarely ever put an expectation at a 10 out of 10. Unless if I feel confident as fuck. That's going to be a 10 out of 10. For this, I can't entirely say that just yet. But yeah, Okada wins. I expect a phenomenal match, regardless.
Yeah, for me, same. I want Brian Danielson to win. I thought it would be fun to watch too. Seeing it's probably gonna be one of the best matches there. Well, after the main one that we're going to talk about, it's definitely going to be a 9 to 9.5. It could be a 10. Same with Danny. To me, that I don't expect 100% to a 10 until I I feel like it definitely can. So for me, 9 to 9.5, and Brian Danielson to win.
Hmm. I'm torn because I really do want Brian to win, but I don't know if Okada will put him over. But I don't think it's tough because many of his group members are going to be throughout this pay-per-view. So expectation-wise, I'm going to give it a 9.5. I'm hoping Brian wins, but I really feel like Okada's going to take this one. It's so tough.
8. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely one of the tougher matches in the card. AEW Championship match. AEW champion MJF defending against Hiroshi Tanahashi after being peer pressured by Adam Cole to actually show up. Now, I kind of had my doubts about this happening due to the fact that they wrote off MJF last year before Forbidden Door. So I was like, they're going to do it again. They're going to do it again. But yeah, it turns out that's not the case. And MJF is actually willing to do a Forbidden Door show. So that's kind of cool. And I kind of, like I said, theorized that Punk would take his spot because he has the red bag. And obviously, what's in the red bag is the AEW Championship, the original one. Because he says he has the thing in the red bag that's something that he never lost. And yeah, he never lost the AEW Championship. But I guess they're not going to touch on that just yet, which is cool with me. They're going to do MJF versus Tanahashi. And who do I expect to win here? MJF. It's obviously one of the easier matches to predict on this card. I have doubted some MJF matches before. This is one of them, but it's not because of MJF. It's because of Tanahashi. Now, Tanahashi is a legend, of course, but he's kind of been on a weird run as of recent, where some of his matches will hit and some of them will not. And hopefully MJF can bring that animal instinct out of Tanahashi. But if he can't, then we're probably just going to get a decent match at best. So overall, I'm expecting a 6 to a 7. But I'm hoping that can be proven wrong and get a 9 out of this. That'd be very nice.
Yeah, for me, I'm hoping for a lot. I'd probably say MJF is going to win, but this is going to be very fun to watch too. I'm hoping Hiroshi does better than the last time. The last time he fought against John Moxley and didn't do the best. Very lackluster match. So I'm hoping that something MJF 100% does bring out that beast in him. I'm going to give it to a 6 to a 7 expectations wise. MJF.
And MJF, I'm sorry, MJF is going to take the win this time. It's going to be a 7. I wasn't too impressed. He was the ace, right? From what I remembered?
Yes.
Yep, the ace. Who was also who is also the 6-man never open weight champions with Okada and Ishii right now.
For sure. Well, the Moxley match was kind of like whatever, so hopefully this is just fine. Just give it a 6.
All right, now, in my opinion, what should be the main event? Kenny Omega, the champion, defending against Will Ospreay, the challenger and former champion. And it is for the IWGP United States Championship. Now, the match they had earlier this year was one of the most violent matches of the year, and it was also the very best match of 2023 thus far. But can it be topped with this second effort? I think it's possible. And I will say this. I believe this series is supposed to be inspired off of Omega versus Okada. And I believe this match is going to go to a 60-minute time limit. I believe the winner is not going to be Kenny Omega. The winner is not going to be Will Ospreay. It's going to be a fucking draw. And I know you guys don't want to hear that shit. But just think. The first match winner was Okada. The second match was a draw. The third was Omega. And the fourth was Omega. I think the draw happens here. They do a third match at Wembley Stadium, UK, Osprey's home country, and that's where he'll finally beat Kenny Omega. Then they'll do their fourth and final match at Wrestle Kingdom 18. So whether you guys like to hear it or not, the second match I predict will end in a 60-minute time limit draw. And overall, my expectation is nothing less than a 10 out of 10. I believe 60 minutes of Osprey versus Omega could quite possibly top what they've already done earlier this year.
Yeah, for me, I'm not personally against the draw, but I do want Will Ospreay to win, in my personal opinion. It'll be fun. I know it's going to be a banger. I can't say anything else except I'm hoping Will Ospreay wins this. If it goes for a draw, fine by me. It's okay. Yeah, I will. This is going to be definitely 100% 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 too. But if I see a draw, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose the ding. I don't want to
You
draw.
better be
That is
prepared.
such a cop out in wrestling. I'm so
You better
tired
be
of it.
prepared.
It's not gonna happen.
You're going to be disappointed.
It's not gonna happen. Well, Osprey's gonna beat Kenny, and he's gonna take that goddamn title back with him after his long recovery journey of almost dying for real.
I'll be at the hospital when you pass out after the draw is official.
It's not gonna be a draw. You're not gonna pull a Samoa Joe CM Punk thing all over
I know,
again.
dude,
And
within my heart, within my mind, within my soul, everything about this screams draw.
no, no. I can tolerate a lot of stupid things in wrestling, but I swear to God, if you end it in a draw for 60 minutes, I'm gonna actually be so
Okay,
mad.
let me ask you in a sincere question.
Yeah.
What's wrong with the draw?
Because it's just such a cop out, dude. It's like you're afraid to give the winner or loss to a certain opponent because they're both like top right now.
That's not necessarily how it is.
You don't need to do a draw for this match. It's
A draw
fine.
can happen. A draw can happen to add intensity into the rivalry, which 9 times out of 10 works.
But Kenny's been fighting Will Ospreay for years. It's time to
No, they
give
have
Will
not.
Ospreay
They've been fighting for 5 months.
5 months, 5 years, same thing.
It is not the same thing.
It's been going on too long. I'm tired of these draws. I want Will Ospreay to finally beat Kenny. It's been 5 months. It's time.
Well, if you think Will Ospreay is going to win, then you know what? Salute you. In my heart, that's what I want. That's what the majority wants. But it's a draw, man. It's such a draw.
No, dude, he's gonna win. And you know, I'm gonna predict Konosuke is gonna somehow get into this match and cost Kenny Omega that W. I know Konosuke is gonna come through in that match.
We'll see.
No, he's gonna show up. I know he is.
I'm gonna laugh so hard if this is a draw. If you're gonna be mad, I'm gonna laugh even harder.
I'm gonna be mad, man. If this is a draw, this is gonna be a 0.
No.
I take
No, you
everything
can't be
positive
serious.
back.
You can't be serious.
You gave the Flash a 0.5. I'm gonna give this a negative 9,000 if it ends in a draw.
You can't be serious, man.
I'm gonna pull a Dave Meltzer right now, man.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to predict WE Money in the Bank 2023 real quick, but we'll be taking this real quick intermission. You'll be hearing us again in just a few seconds. All right, pause the record. All right, we are back after that short intermission. Now we're in talks with our last topic of the day. That's going to be WE Money in the Bank 2023. We are going to be predicting the show. And yeah, I had to gather my thought right there. But anyways, there are 5 matches confirmed, but we are going to be predicting 6 matches because there is one match that is allegedly going to be on the card, announced on the card, probably by Monday Night Raw. So let's dive into it. First, the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. The lineup is 6 women. We got Trish Stratus. We got Becky Lynch. We got Bayley. We got Io Sky. We got Selena Vega. And we got Zoe Stark. So strong lineup, more star power in the women lineup than the men this year. And believe it or not, I think they're going to have the better match over the men this year. I think this lineup is actually pretty damn solid. And I think we get a pretty good ladder match with these women. Now, I could see a Trish or a Becky or even a Bailey winning. But the winner here is very obvious to me. It's going to be Io Sky. I think Io Sky wins the briefcase, and she will eventually go on the cash in on Asuka on a later date. I expect a 7 to an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, this should be a fun match too. I really like. This should be sorry. Yeah, this probably feels like a better match than the other one, but because you can't expect anything from Logan Paul, you can expect a lot. So for me, I would love to see Io Sky win, but I have a personal opinion for me, and that's I really want to see Selena Vega win. I feel like she's always been used. Don't get me wrong, she got a championship recently, match recently, but I feel like she should deserve that take for that title for that briefcase myself. But I'm not gonna be unhappy if Io Sky wins myself too. So I definitely say 7 to an 8 expectations.
I'm in the same boat. I just, I don't really care for Trish Stratus, but there's so many other women in this ladder match. It's definitely gonna deliver at the end of the day. I'm hoping Io Sky wins. That makes more sense. But I guess if I were to pick someone a bit random, it'd probably be Zelina, because she wasn't too bad. So hopefully she can recover from that squash match she had from Ripley, like what, a month ago or 2 months ago or something like that. It's gonna be a good fun match. I expect a 7.
Recover it. When in reality, that was like one of her proudest achievements.
She didn't do anything and got her ass kicked for the entirety of the match.
That's not true. But let's move on to the next match. IC Championship match. The only match not confirmed in the card. The champion Gunther defending against Matt Riddle. And I think this has the makings to be a great match. Gunther retains because he has to hold that belt until at least September to break Honky Tonk Man's record. And I think he's going to break the record. So Matt Riddle, he's just another victim at the end of the day. But this should be a great match. I expect an 8 to a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, this should be fun too. I think Walter always does a best of greatest matches for the IC titles, and Gunther versus Matt Riddle sounds like a great match too. So I definitely needed an 8 to a 9 expectation wise for me.
Same here too, because it's kind of a bit of an oddball match to pick because I never expect Matt Riddle to ever fight against Gunther out of everyone. But hey, I'm down for it. I mean, Matt Riddle's becoming more of a heel, so this might be like an interesting character growth for him too. So I'm gonna give it an 8.
Now, we will hop into Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio. It could be decent. I think Dominic is going to beat Cody Rhodes. And why? I think Brock Lesnar is going to attack Cody. Like, I can imagine this. Cody and Dom knock down the ref by accident. Cody hits his crossroads. 1, 2, 3, except the ref is down. So Cody tries to wake up the ref. Then we hear the little Bork music, F5 to Cody. Then he puts Dominic right on top of Cody. 1, 2, 3. The ref wakes up for that. So, your winner, Dominic Mysterio, which sets up to Cody versus Brock 3 at SummerSlam. And yeah, that's all I can expect. Dominic will win. I'm going to rate this 6 to a 7 based off my expectations. But we don't know what the reality is yet. We shall see what the reality is in a week or so.
Yeah, to me, this would be fun, very, very weird match to be on a card like this, but it should be okay. I feel like that definitely makes sense to be a Brock Lesnar will do something, so Cody will lose. So I feel like Dominic Mysterio is going to win this.
Dude, why do we keep burying Cody Rhodes? I'm tired of Cody Rhodes losing. He didn't go from AEW to this crap. He was supposed to be Roman, and now he's gonna lose to a jobber like Dominic Mysterio.
Weren't you advocating for Dom to get pushed a few months ago?
Yeah. Not over Cody. What is happening? It's because of that stupid rubber chicken.
The rubber chicken is cursed Cody.
He's never gonna win the title. He's not gonna do
He
it for his
might.
dead dad.
He's he's gonna win the title. We just gotta let stories marinate.
No.
Well, anywho, what do you have to say about this match?
It's gonna be fun, but I know Bork's gonna be in it, and it's gonna just be stupid,
Okay,
predictable.
now the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, which features 7 men: LA Knight, Santos Escobar, Shinsuke Nakamura, Ricochet, Butch, Damian Priest, and Logan Paul. Now, before Logan was added into this match, I was looking at this lineup and I was like, this is one of the weakest lineups I've ever seen. And Logan, he kind of came in, added at least a tad bit of star power to the match that was not there at all in the first place. And yeah, I could compliment Santos, Shinsuke, Ricochet, Butch, and Damian's in-ring ability all day. But when you look at the build-up they've all had heading into this match especially, none of these guys should be winning the world title right now. And I don't even think Logan Paul should either. But out of all 7 of these options, Logan Paul makes the most sense. That's going to be the business decision that pays off the most for WWE. So I think Logan Paul is going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. I think he's going to cash in on Seth Rollins on the same exact night, become the world champion. He's going to be champion for 5 weeks until SummerSlam 2023 in August, where he faces Rollins in the rematch from WrestleMania. And I see Rollins getting the second win as well. And Logan will be done with his contract because he only has 2 matches left, 2 dates left, I guess you could say, for a pay-per-view. So, yeah, it's Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. And, yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to take advantage of these 2 matches, and they're going to put the world title on him for 1 month. And Logan Paul can go on his podcast, can go on interviews, and hold the world title, promote the world title. And I think that's the idea WWE is trying to go for here. So it could be decent. I expect the match to be a 6 to a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, this would be fun. Yeah, I would say the same thing that this was weak until I did say that probably when I saw this card before Logan Paul came. I said, all right, LA Knight's gonna win because I felt LA Knight was pushed to the stars, and I would still say LA Knight if Logan Paul was not there. Now I will Logan Paul because I really love him. He's been great in a lot of great matches. He's going to make a lot of great moments in this match too. So definitely, I will do I do 6 to a 7 myself. Logan Paul winning, but I have personal team wanting LA Knight to win it.
And I'm hoping LA Knight wins, but realistically, if they choose Logan, I kind of get it. He has, not to discredit LA Knight, but he's more of a draw. Logan is, and even if it's for 5 weeks, that'd be kind of cool. It won't
And
be too
he's
much to complain.
13 years younger than LA Knight. Not to throw that in, but
You gonna pull a Vince McMahon and do ageism in wrestling, where it's
hey, you
scripted
did that shit
anyways?
with Rey Mysterio on multiple occasions. I can get away with doing that to LA Knight.
No. Yeah.
All right, enough of the Stone Cold Wild and me. Now let's go over to the next match. World Heavyweight Championship match. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. They always deliver great matches. I don't expect this to be any different, especially with Finn wanting to get his redemption from 2016. And it's not the injury that he's pissed off about. It's the fact that after that injury, he was never able to get to that same level ever again. And he's right. Seth Rollins is kind of the person to go for that. So yeah, Finn wants his revenge. Is he going to succeed though? No. I think Seth is going to retain. I think Finn Balor is going to attack Seth Rollins after the bell rings, after he loses. And when Seth is down, that's when Logan Paul will go ahead and cash in on Seth Rollins. He hits the curb stomp on Seth Rollins and the froggy splash. 1, 2, 3. Logan Paul is the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I cannot fucking believe I just said that sentence. But yes, this is actually what I'm predicting. I think Logan Paul is walking out of the event with that world title. But who's going to win this match specifically? That's the question. Seth Rollins. I expect an 8 to a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, for me, I 100%. I know. I think Seth Rollins is getting super brutal right now to me. I want Finn Balor to win completely. I love Finn Balor, and I said this to Chris before anything else that I feel like JD McDonough or Jordan Devlin will interfere in this match to help Finn win. That's my prediction of this is my go down that he will help help Finn win that title and win it the World Heavyweight Championship. And it's possible that maybe Logan Paul just will cash in against Finn Balor, and maybe it will be at SummerSlam a three-way triple threat match: Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and Logan Paul for that title. To me, that sounds fun to me. So I want Finn Balor to win with a interference by Jordan Devlin. So I will do an 8 to a 9 for me.
And I'm in the same boat too. I'm just hoping JD does show up for this match. But if Logan does cashes in, or we get both, hey, I'll take it because the JD will join the Judgment Day. That's money right there, dude. And I'm not gonna complain about that.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. He only has 2 pay-per-view dates left in his contract. So if he wins that briefcase, he's cashing in the night of. Because he doesn't have a new contract prepared. He only has 1 match left after Money in the Bank. So if he's winning that briefcase, he's cashing in on the same night. Just let that be known. But if LA Knight wins, he's probably going to be a long-term holder and hold it for 6 months or so to build himself up. But if Logan Paul wins, it's going to be the same exact night. I guarantee it.
Yeah. And same here. And expectations, hopefully 8 and 9. And if JD does join, maybe Finn Balor and JD can have that match one last time, which you can also see in our NXT UK review.
Yep. Go check that out. Now, the main event, the last match we're talking about today. I know it's been a long podcast, but we're finally towards the end here. Bloodline Civil War, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus the Usos. Now, I've had this vision in my head for the past few weeks, and I think this is exactly how the pay-per-view ends. So, Jimmy Uso cost Roman Reigns the tag titles at the last pay-per-view. Except, there's one thing people kind of forget. Or maybe they haven't forgotten. Maybe they just haven't talked about it. Remember who Roman Reigns dedicated that match to? His father and his uncle.
The Rock?
The legendary tag team back in the day, the Wild Samoans. So, when Jimmy Uso betrayed Roman, he didn't just betray Roman. What he did was an offense on the entire bloodline. Roman Reigns is going to get that revenge. He's not going to lose 2 pay-per-views in a row. You think Roman Reigns is going to lose 2 pay-per-views in a row? That's quite bold of you. Hey, that's quite bold of you. No. Roman's going to get his fucking payback on Jimmy Uso. Roman Reigns is going to lock in that guillotine choke, just like he did to him at Hell in a Cell back in 2020. And just like Hell in a Cell 2020, he's not going to let go. And Jay's going to try to save Jimmy. But Solo's going to get in his way, hit that finisher, and the show goes off the air with the bell ringing, refs trying to get Roman to stop, but he won't. Just like he did to Seth Rollins. He keeps him in that guillotine choke. He is pissed over what he did to him at the last pay-per-view. And with the ending of that, what does that set up to? Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. And now Jey is not only fighting for himself, he is fighting for his brother. He is fighting for his family, because Roman believes he's fighting for his family, and so does Jey. They're both fighting for the same thing when you really, really analyze it. And that's the interesting contrast between Roman and Jey. So I think Money in the Bank can't end any other way if you want to continue the suspense, continue the story. Because if you have Jimmy Uso pin Solo Sikoa in this match, what the fuck is that going to do for anyone? You need to cook the story. You need to finish the story. And Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa winning at Money in the Bank and getting that payback on specifically Jimmy before we move right forward to Jey, that's going to be what we do. And I expect this to be an outstanding match. The match I am most excited for on the entire pay-per-view. And my expectation is a 9 to a 9.5. Roman and Solo not only win, they destroy and dismantle the Usos.
For me, I really like that option. with this. The whole time I was thinking, I want to lose those to win because that'd be fun. But I kind of like your interpretation of what the night sounds like, and it just sounds like a brutal match to me. And I think this is going to be so much fun to see if that actually turns out to play. And I can't wait, and I do hope that does happen. That Jay versus Roman will end where Jay wins that title at SummerSlam. I can't wait to see that. So I give this a 9 to 9.5 for expectations wise.
And same here. Like whatever happens, obviously maybe Roman Solo do take it, but if Jay can get a little bit of shine and we get like a little tease of that action with him eventually dethroning Roman Reigns, it's gonna be great. So what's been said is said. I expect a 9.5 for this, and one hell of a way to end a Money in the Bank event.
So overall, Forbidden Door, I expect an 8. For Money in the Bank, I expect a 7.5. Both should be pretty good shows.
For me, expectations will be an 8, maybe an 8.5 for Forbidden Door. For Money in Bank, I give it a 7.5 for me.
And
It should be a good show.
Sorry. And then for Forbidden Door, I kind of expect an 8.5 with so many potential matches of the year. And then for Money in the Bank, maybe an 8 to be fair. Not to discredit WWE, it's just because, AEW, for this case at least, has like more of the storytelling and more of the main event matches than this one. So I'll keep it fair. I'm not
We shall
favoritism.
see, man. We shall see.
Yep.
So, any final thoughts you guys have to give before we end off this podcast?
I say it's just going to be a crazy weekend.
Same, dude. It's going to be awesome time for wrestling.
Yeah. And thank you all. If you all listen to this podcast from start to finish, we really appreciate it. We know it's been a long one. I've been Daniel.
I've been Berman.
I've been Chris.
Please subscribe. Please hit that like. Please comment. It really helps us in the algorithm. And take it easy, folks.